Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Saeed Bagil. I'm a global brand consultant, author, and speaker. For a very long time, we've been discussing about core essence, relevance, and so on. But there's something very important that a lot of brands forget, and that is the old fashioned marketing mix. Nobody pays attention to the marketing mix, and that's why brands usually do not impact bottom line. So, what dictates marketing mix today? Back in the 90s or early 90s or mid 80s, I believe, positioning was introduced. Positioning, so it controls the marketing mix to build up a proper mental frame for the audience. Dictates the product, dictates the place, dictates the price, and dictates the promotion. Now, a lot of the marketing mix from the days of the four P's, things have changed drastically. 22 P's, 17 P's, 28 P's, and some of these P's don't even are not even are irrelevant. In fact, for me, I like to stick to the fundamental of the marketing mix. I think it's so beautiful that it is there's clarity to the fundamentals. Some might argue and say, well, everything's going online. Well, it's the same buyer that's offline to online. I mean, we're not going to have robots buying online. It's the consumer. So what I suggest is this, and please take this from me. The fundamental understanding of brand, that's art and science, emotional and functional, distinctive values, have to be applied across the board. Most stay on brand and leave the logic side of it. Most launch on brand, inspiring the world, then the business and sustainability fails eventually. Usually after a year and a half, the amount of money that has been spent doesn't equal to the bottom line. That's because there was no reasons of logic behind it. Probably the business strategy was not clear. A lot of people have a misconception of the business strategy. For example, they cannot address mission and vision properly, absolutely properly. You find something that is just fancy words. They don't understand the meaning of it. It's usually in the shelves, stacked there or written on a website. Nobody pays attention to it. And then it comes to the business, to the brand strategy. You get an asset, a guideline, what we call brand asset guideline. And the guideline gives to the agency. Agency applies all the touch points and stays there. So, two key elements, the business strategy and the brand, are kept in the shelves. How do you expect bottom line? How do you expect bottom line? I wouldn't expect any bottom line because you have not applied that, because you took it generally as a thought and then you went back to the old set, which is the trading set. Buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell. This is not how you build a business. You need a business strategy and a brand to build a proper business that's sustainable for long term. Now, some of the brands, I'll give you an example, would be Apple. Apple is one of the best business strategies, one of the best brand strategies that have been applied across. So Starbucks. Many use these examples, commonly used example of very often. But what I'm trying to say here is business is a journey. It's an absolute journey. It starts from the business strategy. You need to put the brand inside the heart of the business strategy because the idea itself is the brand, the sets of values. And then you drive in the marketing mix inside it because you need the logic side, the everyday experience, the value experience that customers encounter. And if you don't have these three journeys in sort of in holistic, tied in together, it's going to be a difficult journey. What you're going to do is you're going to have one part of the business working, the other two are not working. And unfortunately, unfortunately, yes, because all three needs to align themselves, the business, the brand, and the marketing. Operation applies this very well. If operation and people, which is HR, are onboarded, you're going to turn ambassadors, you're going to turn the best supply chain on board, and then you're going to turn a lot of things. You're going to have a proper business. But unfortunately, what I've just said now, especially in my region, 99.9% is not applied. It's written in words, written in documents, presented, but none of these are applied. I mean, I've gave many case examples before, like Nadi and so on. Let me give you one key example that generates to this, which is very, very, very nice. I'm going to take Flynas as an example. When Flynas launched first, They launched what? As a budget airlines. A budget airlines. Eventually, they realized that they can't compete on being a budget airlines, which makes a lot of sense. No problem, because fuel is subsidized in Saudi Arabia for Saudi Airlines, which is a government-owned airlines. So Flynas does not have that privilege. So they went and changed their business strategy to hybrid airlines. But what happened here? They changed the business strategy, but the brand never changed. Remained. Absolutely remained the same as a budget. But then you go on board, you see a business class. Oh, isn't that a budget airlines? Then you go on board, you walk a little bit, and then you pay for your drinks and everything, which is fine. But if Flynas has transformed when they did the transition and transformed their business model from a budget from a low-cost carrier LCC to a hybrid, they should have touched the brand itself and applied it inside the marketing mix, which is a value it delivered almost every day. Not almost every day delivered value. But unfortunately, they just touched the business strategy and then left the brand as is, marketing as is, and they struggled. But my point is, they struggled, but they're doing fine, let's say today. My point is this. Flynas had the greatest opportunity to capture the hybrid category and drive everything if everything was done from the beginning, from business, brand, and marketing correctly. Retweaking, revisiting, and so on, it's only cost so much, and it puts a lot of burden on these organizations. Let's go to the other side. Business, strategy, brand, and marketing. Fly a deal. I think Fly a deal did very well. Fly a deal applied a proper business strategy. They said we're a budget airlines. They applied the budget principle in their brand and in their brand strategy, which is very obvious, and the marketing makes all the sense. And what I like about it is the organic growth also, not a sudden growth. Well, they could have all the money in the world to grow fast, but they grow organically, slowly, to build up what? The destination. Gets the team on board, aligned with the customers also. So if we look at all this, what I just said, operation, brand, business, brand, and marketing, if all these are aligned together, you have a great brand. One more point that I want to highlight also. Some people say business and brand. Brand is business. Business is brand. Brand is the point of reference. I mean, we don't say this business is commodity. We say Flynas, Apple, Starbucks, Google. We call them by name. When the business becomes the point of reference inside our minds by name and characteristics, it's a brand. But if you're just going to call it a business versus a brand, that business is a commodity. It's a commodity. It's everyday trade, buy and sell. It's not something that you build for tomorrow. It's something you build today so you can make your pocket rich. Thank you so much.